ever seen you. What really was the switch this offseason that you think has kind of let you unlock this other level of pitching?
Oh, yeah, I think it's kind of just been like being where the feet are, being present in the moment, whether that's in the weight room or on the field. Just kind of going with that and just being where we are and going through every day has kind of helped with that.
When you look at the roles, Scott talked about, starting, relieving, in, closing, whatever. As a pitcher who's done it all, how do you adjust your mindset, not knowing exactly what your role might be a particular weekend? Or do you hope to get, before Texas Tech, set in okay, this is what they want me to do? How does that work in your mind?
No, I mean, I think it changes day to day or week to week, right? I mean, I feel like I've had the experience of I started as a freshman. I came out of the pen as a sophomore. So being able to adjust, I mean, I don't think it's that big of an adjustment. Of course, as a starter, like you have the time to know that you're starting, but as a reliever, like you're available every day. And I think that's kind of fun. So just knowing, like being able to adjust whatever it is good. But I think a bunch of guys on the team can do whatever needs to be done. And I think that's one thing about this team is like we're all bought in to win. So no matter like what role it is people are going to take it and do it.
Coach Forbes was saying that he was getting emotional seeing Jake throw again recently after the injury he had. As his teammate and his friend, how cool has that been, seeing his journey to get back on the block? Yeah,
I mean, this time last year, like it was devastating, right? I mean, you see him and then all the hard work he puts in. I mean, comes from gets cut at a 4-year, goes to a JUCO, then comes here, and I mean, he was projected to have a great year, and see it get snap away like that and just see what he's done to put the hard work in. I mean, it's been pretty special. But not only just the hard work that he's put in, like he's also stepped up as a leader even whenever he was injured. I mean, every day he was always out there with us pitchers, going through scouting reports. He's like in between innings, hey, I saw this. This is what you can do. Like, look where the hitter's standing. So just stuff with that. I mean, just took that step of, even though he's not pitching, he's able to still help.
What's impressed you the most about the team so far in the preseason?
Yeah, I mean, I think we just get after it, right? I think one thing about us is every day we're going to go out there and we're going to have fun, but we're also going to bust each other's chops and do some fun stuff with it. I think one of the best things about this team is that we're going to play hard-nosed baseball. I think you got to play us 27 outs, and good luck.
Forbes mentioned 3 freshmen on us, McDuffie, Seagraves, and Lynch. What have you seen from them in this preseason?
Yeah, I think they're more mature than most freshmen. I think that's one of the biggest things that I can say is that they don't act like freshmen, and that's kind of like a good thing. I think a bunch of older guys have kind of taken them underneath their wings, showing them like, hey, if this is where you messed up, like, hey, here's how you can improve. And I think if you can get them to mature a little bit faster than rather than being just a freshman, that's going to help them out the most.
Forbes mentioned that you yourself have kind of matured as a leader, especially with all of these freshmen. How have you kind of taken that role?
Yeah, so I think the thing about it is as we go back to it, I've started, I relieved, I've done it all. So I feel like I can kind of help them navigate through what's going to come through it. So just being able to be an ear for them. I mean, I've seen it all. Trying to use that to help them. I think that's one of the things that our team's like built on is servanthood, and it's just how can I help my teammate. So if I can help somebody and that's going to make us better and we're going to win more games, then I'm all for it.
How's the College World Series experience affected maybe this year's team, and how have some of the players that have been there shared that with the new guys?
Yeah, I mean, of course, like experience is great, but this is a totally new team. I think that first pitch dinner kind of wrapped it up. They talked about it, but now we're all eyes forward. We're focusing on the 2025 season. Experience helps, but I mean, granted, this team's going to face adversities that last year's team didn't have or had. So, I mean, it's a totally different year. I don't think that you can kind of bring the 2024 team and the 2025 team together and say they're the same exact team.
What have you seen from DeCaro this offseason? What's that dynamic like between you guys?
Yeah, I mean, he's one of my best friends, of course. I think he's going to be great. I mean, he's looks great, moving well, getting after it in the weight room. I think like it's going to be a special year for him.
Are there any particular changes you've noticed, just any differences from his freshman year?
I mean, I think it's kind of just been like one thing, like he's young for his age and he's matured well, and I think that's going to be one of the biggest things for him.
With having the pitching up here, how much do you rely on analytics? And how much does the coaching staff in general use the analytics that you guys get to kind of tinker with your pitch shapes?
Yeah, I mean, analytics are really helpful, but at the end of the day, you have to get outs on the mound. That's the name of the game. With the pitching lab, I mean, it's great. You're be able to see all the force, and I think anything that you have with it, with the Edgertronic cameras, with the TrackMan, it's all there for us. They use the analytics, but at the end of the day, what we're trying to do is we're trying to get the hitter out that's in the box. So whatever it takes to do that, I mean, analytically, you may have the worst pitch on the team, whether it's a fastball or whatever, but if it gets people out, then it gets people out, and I think that's the biggest thing.
Have you in the offseason made any changes to any of your pitches?
A little bit. I mean, we've been developing a changeup, and it's been a great pitch this preseason. Getting a lot of people out with it and getting a lot of swing and misses. So the changeup's been a great addition to it, and I think that comes with just knowing what it does and like how to use it. And I think the pitching lab's helped with it.
Today, the baseball program announced that they had sold a record number of season tickets, and it was up 30% from last season. When you think about the environments that you guys had in the Bosch, particularly at the end of last season, how exciting is it that you're going to have more people than ever before seeing Carolina baseball this season?
I mean, yeah, I mean, it's something to always look forward to. I mean, the fans are what drive us, right? I mean, we want to play in front of a bunch of people, and I mean, that's what gets the juices flowing. And I mean, I think we have the best fans in college baseball. They're always here. I mean, Bosch Magic's real.
How important is it to have a guy like you back on the team this year? And can you touch on his leadership just a little bit too?
Yeah, I think he's matured as well as going into his sophomore year. I mean, he knows what it takes, and I feel like somebody. I mean, he caught all the games last year except a couple, and just having somebody that's been able to command the pitching staff as well as he did as a freshman, I think he's just going to take big strides with that with our pitching staff this year.
How helpful has it been, not just obviously to have Luke, but him not playing in the fall, to have Matt come in, be younger, have the ability both behind the plate and, hit it?
Yeah, I mean, I think it adds depth, right? I mean, that's one of the biggest things we have is depth, and I mean, put guys pushing each other, whether it's in the plate at their position or on the mound. I mean, having Mac as I guess you would say a backup right now, but still, I mean, he's not a backup anywhere else he goes, and that's one of the best things to have.
You mentioned a lot of newness on the roster this year. What have you seen from the outfield specifically, and how have you seen that new group kind of come together?
Yeah, I mean, it's 3 new guys in the outfield, right? All the other ones got drafted. I think it's going to be special. I think that what it takes is just people have to kind of gel together. And, I mean, as a team, every year is different, right? With the transfer portal, with freshmen coming in, with the draft. I mean, each team's totally different. So if we look at it as that, I think this team came really close over the fall and this preseason. And the outfielders kind of come do their own thing as well in between themselves. But I mean, yeah, I think the communication between all of them is great.
You 2 more.
Who's the toughest out you've had to face, teammate-wise?
Ooh. Well, over the fall, it was me and Kane Kefley sits right beside me in the locker room. We always had like a little bet going in between each other and stuff, so it was always a pride bet that came with it. And that was always a fun at bat. I mean, this preseason, Luke's looked well. Only faced him a couple times, but he's done great.
Anything else? Thanks, Kyle.
Thank you, guys.
Tyson, obviously big shoes to fill in the outfield.
Yes, sir.
Coach Forbes talked about it all last year. Those guys are going to be gone. You guys are going to have to step up. How have you seen that sort of come together?
I mean, yeah, obviously, that's probably the best 3 outfield combination of all time in college baseball. So it's going to be a big challenge. But like KP just said, I think we've done a great job of coming together. Can't play alone. Takes all 45 of us coming together. Getting here every day, ready to work. Got to be ready to go.
Tyson, coming from North Carolina Wesleyan, obviously Scott Forbes is a North Carolina Wesleyan alum. Did that connection help when he was recruiting you?
I honestly have no idea. I would say so. He likes to give me crap for it. Oh, maybe not crap, but he likes to make it known that we were both there. But yeah, I don't know. You'll have to ask him. I would assume so, if I had to guess.
Tyson, what have you seen from this level of D1 pitching, and and specifically some of those young freshman arms that you've been facing in the preseason?
The just true natural ability is different. I mean, confidence is a big thing. I mean, they go out there and know that I've been good my entire life, and I'm still pretty good. The young guys, KP was just talking about it, the freshmen especially. I've never seen freshmen like the freshmen here just like know that they're going to get you out. And that's 90% of pitching, I'd say. Same thing hitting, I guess.
Have you had to make any adjustments with your swing or your approach at the plate to deal with some of the arms that you're seeing?
I mean, physically, no. Mentally, I guess mentally every pitch is different. Coach Weir's is huge here for everyone, I guess, but me especially. Just being a little more selective, I guess.
A couple of home runs that you hit in the ball got quite a bit of attention.
Yes, sir.
What's the longest home run you hit, and can you talk about your power potential?
The longest home run I've ever hit, I have no idea. I would like to say far, but I don't know. It might have been this fall. Power potential, yeah, I guess. I don't know. I just like to hit the ball hard. No point in hitting it if you're not going to hit it hard. So
But you've been able to hit for average as well as
sometimes.
And speed on the bases. Is that combination really?
Oh yes, sir. I don't want to be one dimensional. I mean, yeah, it's nice to be able to hit the ball out and then be able to run a little bit. Definitely.
Without Vance, I think you're going to be one of the number one people they look to wreak some havoc on the base paths. Have you been working on anything differently in specific to kind of take on that role?
Differently, I mean, same thing. Physically, no, not really, but mentally, Coach Jackson, again, he just says stuff all the time. It's kind of like, maybe I probably should have known that, but I didn't really know that. And then, yeah, just like being sure, like the pitcher and the catcher and the people in the dugout are all much more weary at this level of, okay, that guy can run. Let's not just let him steal second. So just being convictive with your decisions and being decisive, yeah.
Has there been a pitcher that's really had your number this fall?
I hate facing Olin. It's just, I don't know. Me and Olin are kind of goofy. And he's just lanky. Just, I don't know. I hate it.
Does he have a pitch that like really trips you up?
No, not one in particular. Just him as a person, I guess.
What's been the biggest difference? I mean, ball, what's been the biggest difference from where you were to here?
Like, in life completely, the biggest difference is walking to class. It sucks so bad. And Wesleyan, I could just pull up and class is right there. But now, I mean, we have to park here and I got a class on Franklin Street. And if y'all know, that is a long way from right here.
You don't have like a scooter or something, or you get one?
I did not have a scooter, no. Or I do not, yeah. But yeah, it would be nice. But it's all right. Get to walk and think and talk to the guys.
Anything else?
Is there a player on this team that you've kind of become pretty close to?
In particular, no, I wouldn't say. I mean, I think I'm pretty close with everybody. I mean, maybe guys hate me, maybe they don't, but I don't know. I couldn't tell you. I like to think everybody likes me.
Have you found any new food to review?
We've been going to this place called Heel and Horn lately. I think it's kind of new. It's on Franklin Street, out towards like I don't know, out down that way. I ain't been here real long, but yeah, it's pretty good. They got good garlic knots as an appetizer. If any of y'all would like to go.
Have you three outfielders talked about how much talent there was in the outfield last year, and how much talent left, and what a big void you guys are filling coming into this season?
Have we talked about it? No, but it's definitely known. I mean, Casey and Vance have been here a lot, so I mean, gotten to know those guys pretty good. But no, I don't think we've talked about it much. But we're aware for sure.
Have you talked to Casey and Vance for advice or anything like that?
Advice? No, I wouldn't say I have. I mean, just getting to know them as humans. I mean, yeah, they're baseball players, but they're also 22-year-old boys just like everybody else here.
Tyson, with your experience in track league this summer, how much did that experience help just making this transition?
It was huge for sure. I mean, just getting my feet wet, I guess, not having to just jump straight into it. I mean, I'll be the first one to tell you I struggled in the draft league, but I mean, I would do it again if I had the chance. Just sometimes you got to struggle.
Tyson, are you excited to see Rentaro again when he comes to Stanford?
Yeah, I didn't even. I don't know. I kind of forgot that Stanford was in the ACC now, but yeah, I mean, we played them this summer, and we were leaving the locker room, and there was just like basically it looked just like this, but it was all Japanese people waiting just for him, and they had to be like he had his own security and everything, and he wouldn't sign anything but a baseball because. Well, I asked him this on first base. He said if he signs something flat, basically, like they'll take whatever it is, imprint it on a baseball, and it was like $400 to $800. So he wouldn't sign anything but a baseball.
Did you get him to
Last
sign a
one.
baseball for you?
I did actually, yes, well.
Thanks, Tyson.
Thank y'all.
Thanks, Tyson.
First question.
Luke, obviously the leadership, Coach talks about it, you're the natural leader on the team. Just who else do you see as sort of helping out in that regard? Not just doing it, but actually talking it and pumping the guys up?
Yeah, I mean, definitely Jackson Vanderbrake. I mean, him being able to get his year back and being here. You know, last year I turned to him for almost everything. He's talk about a natural leader. And then Ahmed and Stoke, they've also stepped up a lot, being returners. So we all kind of understood our role and understand that a lot of guys left, and I think a lot of people are stepping up, but those three in particular are definitely stepping up and filling that role, and it's been great.
For you personally, I mean, obviously you want to play as much as you can, but being able to sort of watch in the fall, for lack of a better term, how did that help you sort of recover from last season and get ready for this season?
Yeah, you know, the fall was a little bit of a blessing and a curse. I was not able to play, but I was able to see the game through a different lens, try to be there for all the new incomers and talk about the standard and how we do things around here. And then just being able to kind of watch and move around and help some guys out. Like it was something that I was glad I was able to do. Obviously, it was not fun not being able to play, but I kind of make did with what I had, and it was good.
Luke, do you think not playing this fall is going to help you manage this staff because you've had more time to kind of see all of their little idiosyncrasies?
Yeah, no doubt. Something that I was able to do this fall was, you know, sit next to Coach Gaines and watch him call pitches and him give me the remote a couple times to call some innings. So I got to learn like that aspect of the game a little better and understand what our pitchers' strengths were, not just being behind the plate, but I mean, understand what they're good at just from watching and why Coach Gaines calls what he does, and so that come the season that we're on the same page and I kind of have a good understanding of why he's going to that pitch or why Jake Knapp's throwing this 2-0 slider in this count to this hitter. So I got to learn a lot this fall, which is really good.
Which pitchers have you really seen mature over the fall preseason?
Good question. You know, I thought Cam Seagraves looked really, really good the other day. I got to see him a little bit in the fall, and I think he got a lot better, fine-tuned a lot of things. Yesterday, Jake Knapp threw on the mound for the first time in a year, and that was phenomenal. Everyone was pumped for him. And, I mean, he looked great, and I'm really, really pumped for him.
Are you excited to actually catch Jake in a game this year?
I'm so excited. I'm so excited. We were walking back from the bullpen. I was like, man, it's been a year. We were all talking about, like, we were excited to do, like, make this walk every weekend together, and it got cut short. So I'm excited to make that walk with him this season.
Wearing the red, white, and blue this past summer, how cool was that for you?
It was unbelievable. It was a great experience. You know, that's something I've always wanted to do as a kid. Play for Team USA, represent your country for baseball. So that experience was awesome, and I was honored to do it.
What was the biggest thing you might have learned from that? Because you were mixing in with some really, really good players.
Yeah, no, I got to talk to a lot of great guys, understand kind of their habits, what they think in the box, their routine. Got to learn from some of the coaches there, like Coach Gilmore, Coach Hare. So that experience itself was unbelievable, and I got to learn a ton.
Are you excited to see some of the guys like Zion Rose that you were with at USA now on the ACC slate? Yeah, for sure. But I mean, when we cross the line, I mean, I tend not to have many friends. I'll if I want to text them, I'll text them outside of the field. But I mean, I have a lot of good friends that play at UVA, play at Louisville. A lot of like friends that I have in the ACC, but we all kind of have the same mindset that when we're playing each other, that it's on.
Luke, the baseball program announced today that they had set a record for season tickets sold. You know, it's up 30% from last season. When you think about the environments at the Bosch that you played in toward the end of last season and in the tournament, how exciting is that more people are going to be watching?
Oh, I'm pumped, and we're all pumped. You know, last year was an awesome experience, seeing all the support that we had from the fan bases and seeing the Bosch packed out basically every day. So we're really, really pumped to get the Bosch filled out again and see how many fans are going to come out and support us for this season.
And it starts with you, but the defense up the middle last season was outstanding from you to Vance and to the middle infielders. But how do you think this year falls? It seems like it's pretty good this year as well.
No, I love it. I love it. We have our middle looks really, really good. I mean, I think top to bottom we're really, really strong. Last year we lost some guys, but I mean we got Kep in center, we got a great middle infield, and then we're going to be deep on the mound. So I'm really excited, and I feel really good about what we got this year.
You grew up in this area, and just watching this program as you were a little kid, and now you're here, you're an established player here. How cool has that journey been for you?
It's been awesome. It's been awesome. So I mean, I'm originally from New Jersey, so my family and I, we picked up just to be around here. I left New Jersey, left my family just to have the opportunity to come play here. So this is always what I wanted to do. And I mean, last year being the year we had, like that was just a phenomenal experience. So I'm looking forward to this season, and I'm going to enjoy every second of it.
In your time of I talked to your high school coach, Carlos Valera, the other day, and he was just talking about how at your prompting you would go hit with him every day for all 4 years of high school, apart from obviously showcases and like travel ball tournaments. But can you just talk about like how important that was to just be out there every day, getting better in high school and working with him?
Yeah, I got off the phone with him a couple hours ago. I still try to keep in touch with him as much as I can. But he was great. You know, what he's been doing for Wake Forest and the program that he's developed there has been phenomenal. I mean, has guys going to Division I programs, had a first rounder 3 years ago. But I mean, him being able to, I have access to hit with a coach at that level every day in high school, and be fortunate to have a high school coach that knows that much about the game that can help me with my swing. I mean, I was extremely fortunate.
In your time observing the pitchers this fall, what did you learn about Jason DeCaro?
Stud. He's got really, really good stuff. Watching him isn't as fun as catching him. He makes my job extremely easy. And yeah, he's just a stud.
Obviously, you were a leader last year for this team. Can you just talk about how leadership has been a factor so far in this offseason?
Yeah, no, I mean, like I said, I was extremely fortunate to come in the year I did, having guys like Vandy, guys like Vance that kind of took me under their wing pretty early and kind of showed me the ropes and how we do things around here. And that's all I want to be to the new incomers this year, and be that person that they can go to and trust with questions about baseball, outside of baseball, in the classroom, whatever it may be. Like I said, the leaders that I came up with last year helped me, and that's all I want to be to these freshmen and newcomers this year.
Luke, Wayne McDonald praised your pitching abilities. Can you just talk about your approach behind the plate?
Yeah, Professor McDonald is awesome. But yeah, no, I mean, behind the plate, all I try to do is alleviate every stress, every anxiety, anything that the pitcher feels. I want just for them to feel their best behind the plate. I'm just trying to make every borderline pitch a strike and every strike a strike, and then if it's in the dirt, use my body to do everything I can to keep it in front.
Have you developed any new techniques in the offseason or just?
Yeah, for sure. Coach Weirs and I work all the time, and now having Mac is awesome. We both compete in the cages, do competitions, receiving, blocking, but just working on like the angle position of my body and making sure that my timing on each pitch is good. So yeah, just kind of top to bottom working on a bunch of stuff with Mac.
Luke, what is your relationship with Mac, and do you anticipate you getting a few games at DH so he can be behind the dish?
You know, I don't know how the rotation is going to work, but all I know is Mac's really, really good. And he caught extremely well over the fall, had a great year at Liberty, and it's been great that we've been able to compete back and forth. You know, like I said, we do games back there, see who can block the most perfectly, who can keep it closer to home plate. All I know is that he's going to catch a lot. We're gonna see a lot of strikes this year, combine the both of us.
Luke, what's your relationship like with Gavin, coming in together last year and then going to Omaha, and then how have you seen him develop in the offseason?
Yeah, Gavin's my boy. You know, last year we roomed with each other on the road trips, and you know, experiencing the things that we did last year, we got really, really close over. So I mean, we're constantly hitting and texting outside of the field. So yeah, that's my guy.
What did you learn in Omaha that should bring you into this season?
Could you repeat that? Sorry.
What did you learn in Omaha that you're bringing into this season?
That's a good question. Just kind of like slow the game down and keep it one pitch at a time. You know, Omaha was, you could say, it was pretty exciting. So just kind of taking everything one pitch at a time and one game at a time. Yeah, I guess that's what I took from it.
Carlos also said that when you came to Wake Forest from New Jersey, even though you were not the tallest, not the biggest, he said, he even kind of gave a little jab. He said you weren't even the most fit. But he said that's okay. He thinks you guys are close enough where he can say that now. But he said that it was almost like working with a pro right away when you came in high school. So what's been like that work ethic and just the maturity that you developed and just acting so professionally on and off the field?
Yeah, you know, and he's one of the big reasons, like, he instilled that into me. You know, he got me on a good routine, and I was able to ask high IQ questions, I guess you could say, and he had a good answer for them. And I was able to have the relationship that we could go back and forth, and he was always willing to work, and I'm always willing to work, whether it's going to hit at 7 in the morning or going to hit at 7 at night after a 3-hour practice, whatever it may be. I was able we were able to bounce a lot of ideas off each other and kind of gain a mutual respect and understanding of what we want to accomplish here.
Do a few more.
You mentioned trying to alleviate all the stress and kind of take that on from your pitchers. How do you develop a relationship with each individual pitcher, and how do you change your approach behind the plate depending who's on the mound? Yeah, I mean, like I said, like all these guys are like my best friends. So I know Jason DeCaro pretty well just because I'm around him every second of the day. So whether it's a mound visit or pregame or whatever he needs, like, I know him pretty well. So I feel like I'm able to get a good relationship with these guys just being at practice. And I'd say I'm a pretty social person, so I'm always talking to these guys and understanding what they need and where they want me, like if they want my glove a certain way, if they want me to do this or do that. I just am always trying to like be there and for what their needs are in that situation.
You talked about the infield and how that revamped group is kind of looked. Can you kind of elaborate on that a little bit? On how they've looked so far?
Yeah, they've been looking great. You know, I mean, Ahmad, what he did last year defensively was phenomenal. So he's been looking unbelievable. And like I said, having Vandy back, it's great. We're all really confident with our infield and our outfield. So we're all feeling really good about it.
You mentioned the outfield. What's it like been connecting with all these players there?
Great. We have a bunch of good dudes on our team. You know, like last year's outfield was great, but like Tyson kind of said earlier, like we got a solid, one of, if not the best outfield in the country. We cover a lot of ground. They all got strong arms, so I'm really excited to see how it all plays out.
Thanks, Luke.
Thank you, guys.
Obviously, as you told me when I saw you in the transfer portal, you had no intention of leaving. You were just relieved that you finally got the extra year.
Yeah, I mean, that whole process was long and not necessarily easy. But yeah, like you said, I had to be in the portal just in case it didn't go my way. It's kind of a timing thing, but I made sure everybody here, they knew I wasn't trying to leave. It was just kind of the circumstances. But yeah, they made us work for it, but we got it done.
Where did you finally get word?
We were done. We finished up with exams in the fall, and I was lined up to go home. And I ended up staying back here for another week or so before I found out. So, I mean, that was almost five months-ish from the time that we put the waiver in to when we found out.
So mid-December?
Yeah. Yes, sir.
But you still play fall ball, right?
Did, yeah. I treated it as if I was going to be here the whole time either way. And if it didn't work out, then I had a plan B. But in my mind, I would be here either way, so that's how I went about things.
Happy to be back at second base?
Oh, man. Yeah, I am. I love being in the middle. I'm probably a little bit more comfortable there than at third base. Just a matter of reps. I've played in the middle my whole life, basically. Yeah, feels good to be back.
Jackson, how much better did it feel going into the offseason after a tough season on the whole, but you had a big hit in Omaha that helped you guys get the win against Virginia? How much confidence did that give you going into the summer and the offseason?
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't say I ever really lost confidence, but I definitely, I mean, to have a part in a big win like that in a big spot obviously feels really good. And getting to that point and knowing that we're coming back just makes you that much hungrier to get back to that point. And that's kind of what I've been more focused on for sure.
Can you just sort of describe your journey? We know it, but describe your journey for folks that may not know the road you traveled from Yakima to here. Last year, captain, Jake goes down. You had a little bit of struggles to today.
Yeah. Well, out of high school, I went to Tacoma Community College for 2 years, so I think that in itself teaches a baseball player a lot about themselves. You kind of figure some stuff out, you grow up, because you're not necessarily getting the looks that you want out of high school. So I think that period was really big for me, just kind of life experience, baseball experience, and then getting here, playing a lot my first year here, and then the circumstances last year, it's kind of the same thing. You take from it what you can, you learn, you continue to get better, be a good teammate, and most of the time if you go about things that way, good things will happen.
It's a combination with you and Madeira that developing chemistry here in the preseason?
Yeah, no doubt. We both played a lot this fall at both spots, second base and shortstop. He's pretty unbelievable. He's just like Colby. He makes every single play, makes it look really easy. So as a second baseman, having that guy as your shortstop, it's a lot of fun. You know you can trust him to make every play. You can make a bad throw on a double play feed and he'll pick you up. We definitely, playing together, have developed a lot of chemistry for sure.
Seeing Jake get back on the mound yesterday, what was that like for you and the team, just seeing back out there?
So awesome. I mean, I was smiling for him. He's an unbelievable teammate, obviously a captain. Guys look up to him and the way that he went about that whole, it's been a full year of recovery and getting back to this point, which I know was hard on him. You would never know. He would never tell you that, which is a testament to who he is. But you know that it definitely wore on him, and to get back out there yesterday and not only throw, but he threw really, really well and looked really good. And I'm assuming he feels pretty good about it, but the rest of us definitely are unbelievably happy for him. He's a guy that day in and day out, last year obviously was a tough go, but I was able to see him the year before too and kind of see how he goes about things in a normal year and a healthy year. And it's just, it kind of, no matter the situation, it's a guy you can look at as an example, always doing the right things.
I know you mentioned always doing the right things, but what is it about him that just makes all those guys look up to him?
Super mature, really, really hard worker. I know from personal experience, if you have anything to talk to him, like if you have anything to talk about, you can go to him with that. And I think it's just the fact that he's such a hard worker, and he's he will end up being one of our better guys this year. And when you have a guy like that who works as hard as he does, it's easy to look up to him.
Jackson, you talked about your time at Tacoma Community College. What was some things specifically that you learned on and off the field over your 2 years?
Baseball-wise, it's just all the normal stuff. Like it's still college baseball. I think that's kind of a